So when the Mavericks traded for Kristaps Porzingis, Mark Cuban sat at KP's introductory press conference and said his intention was to keep Porzingis and Luka Doncic together, quote, for the next 20 years. Okay, that may have seemed at least a little, hasty, especially considering the injury issues dogging Porzingis. But remember, Cuban once had Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash on the same team. When Nash became a free agent and wanted to sign a long-term contract with the Mavs, Cuban instead let him walk to Phoenix, a mistake he has since said he will regret forever. So from the start, with this pairing, Cuban has been adamant they are his team's future. And last night, we got another glimpse of why. This game was billed as a showcase for the future of the NBA. We got a nice headlining moment off the top with this Luka step-back three over Zion Williamson. Now, this was Zion's first career ever back-to-back. You could see he was a little sluggish. He also struggled with that defense from Maxi, Kleber, and yes, Porzingis. They combined for 10 blocks. Luka, on the other hand, also seemed a little off at times early in the game. That spurred speculation the finger he sprained the other night could be bothering him. Still, by the time these two teams got to the fourth quarter, everybody seemed to bear down and level up. Brandon Ingram cooking, Seth Curry firing. Zion really got engaged, looked great there at the end. But when the game rolled into OT, it was a first frustrated and then very calm Luka who firmly took control. Take a look at this three.
Oh, this is
icy, just so sure of himself and confident. Yeah. And then again, Luka fighting his way over the midline, bounce pass to KP through. This is like a mouse hole size window. And a nice little tomahawk there from Porzingis. Then finally, we got this. Luka, little dance revolution with Drew Holiday, one of the league's better defenders. And come on. Even when Kleber couldn't pay off the kick out, there is Luka again. The presence of mind to punch the ball, keep the Pels from regaining possession. All right, you got to watch the Holiday part again because it's so good.
It's good defense.
Come on. It is great defense.
Yes.
And yet, Luka, when it was all over, the Mavericks had the win. Porzingis finished with 34 points, 12 rebounds, 5 blocks. Doncic, 30 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists. That number is insane, by the way. And by the way, he broke Jason Kidd's triple-doubles record in Dallas. He's only 21 years old. Maybe more importantly, though, Luka and KP together scored or assisted on 20 of the Mavericks' 25 points in the clutch, pushing the team to exactly the kind of win they have struggled with in the past. And really, it feels like it's just the beginning for these two. You know, since they both had injury issues this year, they've only played 38 games together, but their winning percentage in those games would actually make Dallas the 4th seed in the West if Luka and KP had gotten to play together all season. Now, of course, it didn't happen that way. But still, you have to ask, is this a partnership that's going to truly last 20 years? It's still unlikely. We're getting 2 decades. But after watching the two of them last night, I can sure understand why Mark Cuban wants to try for it and all that might happen for Dallas along the way. So, Dahntay, watching those highlights from last night, how dangerous are the Mavericks in a potential first-round matchup? Now, right now, they would face the Clippers. That's a lot of defense they'd be looking at, but still, they can get some things done, right?
It would be a top defensive team, and it'd be the best offensive rated team in basketball right now. And I think they'll be able to make some noise and make that a competitive series because, number one, they have a go-to guy in Luka, and then they have shooting surrounding him. They have a championship-level coach. So a guy who's been there before who can make playoff adjustments and make that a series that is just not a sweepable team out there just like normal first-round opponents are.
Yeah.
I think if you're a fan of the Dallas Mavericks, you should be really, really excited. I don't know about 20 years.
Right.
But this team, the improvement of the players that they've had this year, Seth Curry has been terrific in the second half of the season. He is arguably shooting the ball better than anybody else in the league right now. Tim Hardaway has had a terrific advancement year. I felt like he was cap filler in that trade. He has turned into a weapon for them. They've got the number 1 offense in the league. And then as you just look at Porzingis as he gets further and further healthier off, not only the knee injury from 2 years ago, but the knee injury he had earlier this year. Like, we've been so focused on how Houston has been so good since the start of February. We may haven't paid enough attention to how much Dallas has improved as this season has gone along. And so when we could talk about this year and how dangerous they potentially are this year, we do something at ESPN called the Future Power Rankings, where we look at teams' futures. There is almost nobody who has a brighter future than this team. And with Mark Cuban and their front office that they are going to be good at getting more pieces. They've shown that they can do that.
Well, Porzingis not only has played his way back after the knee injury, his upper body strength has been noticeably better and different this year, and it changes the way he plays. When he gets knocked around down in the post, he doesn't just then start floating out to the perimeter. He stays there and he does his work. I just think it's made a difference. All that time off for him, he applied that to doing something.
I think health is still, one of the reasons why the Knicks traded him, he said he wasn't going to sign, but they also were somewhat concerned about his health. So I would say the biggest question
Let's not get into all the reasons.
the biggest question mark out of all this is health.
That's a whole different segment. Dahntay, I really like what you said, though, too, about they know who they're going to down the stretch. Because for so many teams, when they get in a playoff situation, that's something that can feel scrambled. And if they have confidence in this kid already, again, he's only 21 years old, but so clearly last night you could see he is their guy when things get tight at the end. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, they have a go-to guy who makes plays as well. He can score in bunches, but he also can make plays for other people. They did a great job of assembling shooting around him. And coaching is going to be the part where separates them from most teams who can make great playoff adjustments in Rick Carlisle and who's great with his X's and O's. So, yeah, they're a team to be able to watch out for, to be able to make a scare in the playoffs if they have a team that is not really prepared for them and cannot match them in shooting.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.